Today, I am rating every single skin in the Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls closed beta. Just as a quick reminder, these are all of my own personal thoughts and opinions on how each of the characters look in this game, and I would love to hear what you guys think down in the comments. And we're going to begin this video right away by starting with the first character, Captain America. And I have to say, I originally wasn't a big fan of, but kind of looking at him here, he's not as drastically different as I thought he would be, if that makes sense. Obviously, the biggest thing about Marvel Tokon is that it's very anime-esque, and I think that adapting Cap in this way was actually a pretty good idea. And I think the biggest thing is that he's wearing a jacket over what would be his uniform. And obviously, the biggest thing about this is that there's a lot of blue on the suit, and the jacket itself is kind of like one of those jackets that you would see at Hot Topic, where they have like the Captain America design on it, but it's just on Captain America now. I almost want to see what it's like with the jacket off, just because I'm also interested in what the suit looks like underneath, and he's just wearing like a bomber jacket that's Captain America designed. His boots and his knee pad look a little techy, and it looks different from the rest of the outfit. Just kind of looking at it, it looks a little weird in that way. But I think for me, the biggest thing that this game does, and it's going to be a common theme with a lot of the skins, I'm sure, is that the art design really sells it. This is anime Marvel, and not only do the designs represent that, but so does the actual art style, and it looks really good here. The red and white lines on the sleeves look a bit awkward because it doesn't really run down the rest of the shirt, like it's crisscrossed. I don't know, that's like the one thing that kind of stands out to me. But I also like too how they replicated the scales that he would have on his regular uniform, but it looks more like the leather scales that you would see on a leather jacket. And overall, this is a really clever redesign for Cap for what they were going for in Marvel Tokon, and I think it makes it very unique to this specific game, and that's obviously why they did it. I would probably settle at a 7 out of 10 for Cap here. It's still a good design, but I think I'm also more interested in seeing what he's wearing underneath rather than him actually having the jacket. And now for his alt color, so normally I am disgusted by the green alternate colors, but I think that once again, the art style really saves it here, because the green and the yellow actually does look kind of decent here. Like, I obviously like it worse than the red and blue design. It's actually kind of growing on me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I almost want to give it the same score, but I do like it significantly less. So maybe I'll give it a 6.5 or a 7, because like I don't say it's 6.5 because I hate it. 5 is my average. It's just not Captain America. I just don't see it. But the design itself actually does work really well with this suit. Like the primarily base green with the different tones, and then just the yellow. It kind of works actually. So yeah. 6 out of 10, 6.5. So moving on to our boy Spider-Man, and oh boy, they over-designed the heck out of him, which seems to be a common theme with these different takes on the wall crawler. They just put a bunch of stuff on him to make him unique to their version of the game, and I think that this is just way too much. The spider logo is one of those long spider leg logos, but it's condensed just to his chest and his abs, and it doesn't extend past the red. And the other thing too is that this suit is just broken up to all hell, and it's like all of the different muscles that he has, like, you know, like the definitions, that's where it's being broken up. Like if you see on his shoulders, and then there's that line that would connect to the tricep and then to the bicep, and that's split up by a blue line. His tricep is red, but his bicep is white. It's just way too much. Like, especially for the default logo, I think that a simple, sleeker design just looks better, because I don't necessarily hate the white on the suit. I think it's a different take, but I think they could have just done more with it. But really, I think the main culprit of why this suit does not look great is just because it's broken up all over the place. It's the same problem that he has with other interpretations like this, but honestly, I think this is the worst I have seen it. So this is getting a 4 out of 10. The alternate is exactly what I was talking about with the sleeker design, because yeah, it's still broken up, but the color colors match a lot better. Instead of the bright red and the bright blue with the white, it's just black, a really, really dark blue, and a little bit of white. I'm not really sure if this would classify as the symbiote skin. It feels more like a stealth suit, but I think the darker colors and then also taking out the web lines as well really mask the fact that it's still broken up in the different pieces, and it just looks way better this way. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but I do think it's spectacular. This is gonna get a 6 out of 10. So our next character that we have is Miss Marvel, and Miss Marvel certainly looks like Miss Marvel all right. They didn't really depart too much from what at least I envisioned Miss Marvel to be, and I don't really have a whole lot to say on it. I like that the scarf actually like kind of wraps around and it has 2 different tailcoats that go all the way down to her legs. This is probably just a me thing, but I don't really like how the leggings stop right below the kneecap. The shins are exposed. It just looks a little not professional, I guess. The arm pads look a little bit weird, like it's kind of connecting in a very awkward way. At least it's kind of what it looks like. The color scheme does look really nice though, and once again, I think that the art style for this game truly does wonders. So with this one, I'll probably give it like a 7 out of 10. And again, I'm just not a big Miss Marvel guy, but she looks like anime Miss Marvel. That's really all I need. I low-key like the darker color on Miss Marvel here, just with like the darker purple with the white accents, as well as the black leggings. Like, I don't know, it just looks a little better to me, I guess. Maybe like the colors are kind of all over the place on the other one, and I know that that's just Miss Marvel, but that's why I'm just not really a big fan of that color or that design. This one just looks a little cleaner because of the colors that they're using and where they're using it. I also just noticed too that with the Miss Marvel symbol that she actually has that symbol on various parts of the suit. Like it's in her chest piece, it's on the side. Like you can see that that zigzag is all over the place on the outfit. And I think that does look really cool, and again, adds to the Miss Marvel look, I suppose. This one I'm gonna give the same score. It's gonna get a 7 out of 10 for me. Up next, we have Iron Man. And I need to give the compliments to whoever thought that Gundam Iron Man would be a good idea for this game, because it looks amazing. Like truly one of the most clever, but obviously clever redesigns for a character. Take the man that is in the Iron Man suit and make the Iron Man suit look Gundam-y. Like even down to like the arc reactor symbol has the Gundam V. The helmet has the Gundam V. There's so many V's on this outfit. There's V's in the abs that make the abdominals. And there's so many different moving parts here. Like it's just, it looks really good. The amount of like lines and detailing on this that add to it because it's a Gundam suit, it looks really good. It really does. If this was featured in Marvel's Avengers and it had the Marvel's Avengers art style, I'm thinking it would kind of get the same reaction from me as like a cool and clever suit. But again, the anime art style with the Gundam suit looks awesome. Gotta be honest with you guys, I think I'm gonna give this one like a 9 out of 10. I like it that much. And honestly, the same thing could be said about the blue and silver alternate. There's a lot more blue on this one, but I think it works. It looks a lot cleaner this way. Little bits of silver and just a hint of black. And obviously with the mask is primarily silver. I almost kind of want to see a red version of this as well. But obviously as a blue alternate, they didn't just like completely swap the colors around 1-to-1. Maybe they tried to and it didn't look as good, so they just added more blue on it, and it looks good. It looks really good. So this one I'm also gonna give a 9 out of 10. And up next we have Storm. So Storm definitely looks like Storm, all right. So she looks good. I think I even mentioned in my Marvel Rivals video that I'm not super familiar with Storm and her designs in general. The white looks clean. It looks pretty nice. Obviously, she has the X-Men logo around her waist because they need to have at least one of them. A couple different lightning bolts. She has one on her earring. She has one on her arm. The tailcoats look really nice. It is a little strange that they're connected from the coat to her arms through the bracelet. So I'm imagining that putting on a coat like this is a huge pain in the ass. And I like the tiara. The tiara looks really cute. So like an 8, 9 out of 10. I like it. Good job. And then her alternate color is the black. It looks I think just a smidge cleaner. My thoughts are about the same. It's just you're replacing all of the white with the black. Now that I notice it, that I like on the other one a bit more is the color of the X logo. I think at the other one it was better, and I think it would have been fine if the X was still black. That's really the only thing though, but it's not really a deal breaker. So I'm gonna give this the same score. It's gonna get like a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Up next we have Star-Lord, and Star-Lord also looks pretty good. And I know that he's kind of the Dante of the game in his moveset, and because it's like a Marvel fighting game and he's a guy with twin guns who's twirling him around, so there may be a smidge of a bias here. I do think that it does scratch the Dante itch all right. Obviously, the red coat looks amazing. I'm glad that it's an actual full trench coat. It just looks so much more badass that way. I do like how the helmet exposes the top part of his hair. It does look a lot nicer that way, at least in my opinion. I like how he has a logo on the helmet, and then he has a whole other logo on his chest. And obviously, he's wearing an undershirt, but like, it all fits together very nicely. You know, he's a space pirate, bounty hunter, guardian of the galaxy, and I think that not only does this costume show that, but again, the art style looks so good, guys. I also think that it's a very interesting choice that they gave him a hood with fur on the outside. That's probably the only thing that I'm just not 100% vibing with, but that's just really me being nitpicky. He has the thigh straps. His pants on the knees look like it gives him a little more flexibility. He just looks really solid. So for Star-Lord, he's gonna get a 9 out of 10 as well. And I am really struggling on if I like this alternate color more. Once again, they took the blue color and they just made the entire thing blue with slightly different shades, just depending on what part of the outfit it is. But I think that the red outlines on the trench coat are what make it just maybe a hair better. I don't know. This one's a tough one. I like the red trench coat because I'm me. You know me. I love my reds, but oh my god, the blue looks so clean. And then the red outlines both on his shirt and then around the coat. It just... yeah, I think I decided I like this one better. Alternate color Star-Lord is gonna get a 10 out of 10. This is right now my favorite suit in the game, and I'm a little shocked that a recolor takes the top spot. Up next, we have Robbie Reyes as Ghost Rider, and I'm gonna be very real with you guys. I'm not super familiar with this character. I know that he's been around for a while, but knowing what he usually looks like, I feel like this is right now Marvel Tokon's most accurate portrayal of a character, and that's probably for the best because he hasn't really had a lot of on-screen time past the comics, and then I think there was a TV show that he was in. But for the design, I gotta be honest, I think I just prefer the Johnny Blaze look. I just really like the motorcycle jacket that he has. It's just a better look in my opinion. But for this, I can get behind it. I just like the other one more. I do think the gauntlets are a little unnecessary on the bottom, but I think overall he does look really cool, but I would be surprised if there was a Ghost Rider look that didn't look cool. There's a little bit of designy lines on his pants, but I really like that he does have a couple of lines on the jacket, but they're also flame lines. I think I would like that a bit more, especially if it was on the pants. Yeah, I think he looks cool. This is coming from someone who doesn't really know a whole lot about this character, but he does look cool, and that's good. I guess. I'm gonna give this one a 6 out of 10. And I don't like the red alternate. It is literally the exact same outfit, but he has a red stripe in the middle, red stripes on his arms, red gloves, red gauntlets, and I think that's it? Maybe his face is a little red too, but it's very subtle. Yeah, it's very subtle. There's a little bit of red on his face. I just think that adding the red takes out the sleekness that the other one had, so it unfortunately doesn't really work for me, even though it is red, and I like my reds. This one is gonna get a 4 out of 10. And last but not least, we have Victor Von Doom. And once again, they gave him fur around the top of his coat, and it looks a little weird. But the rest of it is Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom can already kind of be like a very anime-ish style character, right? At least like from just what I've seen. But I think what they did differently with this one is that they just added more brown than black. Yeah, he usually has the line down there anyways, but he has the buckles right there. His, I don't want to call it a skirt, but I don't know what it's actually called. But the front just sticking down a little bit more just does look a little bit awkward. It is different. He also has what look like these like wing jet boot things. and that also just looks like a little clunky, I guess. And then the rest of like the roboticness just has a lot of detailing on it, like especially on the shins. I can see like that sort of like shieldish looking thing over there. Doctor Doom already looks really badass, and you can't really change it all too much, so we're gonna add little tiny things here and there to make this our version of Doctor Doom. And I think it works, and he does look really cool. But like when you go into the finer details of it, those are the things that you notice, because you have to make it somewhat different, especially for a character like Doom, where you can't really deviate too much from his design without it being drastically different. So with this one, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Little things here and there that I'm not really a big fan of, but overall, he looks great. And last but not least, we have our white recolor for Doctor Doom. And I'm not really the biggest fan of how he looks in this one. It's just the entire thing is white with a little bit of black and then a little bit of gold, and break it apart just to make sure it's not an all white suit. It almost feels like next level godlike entity Doctor Doom, but I don't know, man, not having the green is just really weird. If you want to call this a reference to Marvel vs. Capcom, where they have the white Doctor Doom alternates, you are more than welcome to do so. I like it just slightly less, but the design is still Doctor Doom, and it does still look really good, especially with the art style once again. So I'm going to settle at a 7.5 out of 10 for white Doctor Doom. And those are my thoughts on every suit in Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. I'll probably do another one of these when we get more characters added to the beta, but until then, let me know your thoughts on all of the characters, all of their costumes, and which one of them was your favorite. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you want to see more content like this from me, you can subscribe and follow me on all of my other social media platforms, all of which have similar content that I have here on this channel. And I'd like to give a big shout out to all of my Grave Gang YouTube members listed here on screen. If you want to be featured on my next video, plus a bunch of other rewards, become a YouTube member today. And if you want to check out another video of mine, you can check it out over on this side of the screen over here. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.